330 homers, 20 steals. That would just be a modest improvement over last year, and I think he'll very easily attain that.
Let's talk undefeated Padres with Kyle Glaser, superstar host of Friar Territory. Kyle, great to have you on. And, of course, you're enjoying watching a little Padres ball right now. But before we get to the team on the field, let's get to the money moves. Jackson Merrill signs this big 9-year contract extension, could turn into 10. What did you think when you saw this?
It wasn't a huge surprise. The Padres had approached Jackson Merrill about an extension even when he was still in the minor leagues, especially given the season he had last year as a rookie, the hot start he was off to this year. There was a sense that this was going to come sooner rather than later. It was just a matter of when. 9 years, $135 million. As you mentioned, it can become 10 years and up to $204 million, depending on various options and escalators. All in all, this was a deal that made a lot of sense for both sides. And again, it was really just a matter of when. This had been in the works for some time.
Is this showing us how much $135 million is? I get it. Jackson Merrill could have been, minus Paul Skeens, he could have been Rookie of the Year last year. But all we heard about the Padres was, we got to cut guys. They're talking about possibly trading Dylan Cease's $10 million. Like, does this show us what $135 million over 9 years really is to a team?
Not necessarily. The Padres have a lot of money coming off the books after this season. Dylan Cease will be a free agent. Michael King will be a free agent. Luis Ariza will be a free agent. So for the Padres, a lot of their payroll concerns were related to 2025. With the money they have coming off the books in future years, Darvish's deal comes off the books in a few years as well. Musgrove's in a few years as well. There is long-term money in the organization. It was more about finding short-term payroll room. But we saw even with the Nick Pivetta deal, the way that was structured, he's not making a lot this year, just a $1 million base salary. But he, depending on if he opts out, will get paid in future years. So same thing with the Jackson Merrill extension. Most of the money, pretty much all of it's going to come in future years. So it was just about payroll for this year. They have plenty of money for future years.
Jackson Merrill deserves every cent he got. He also told me it was very nice to meet. He actually said he was honored to meet me on Saturday. So listen, he should have got $250 million over like 2 years. I don't know. But when you watch this team, this guy hits fourth for this team, okay? He's gotten, how many big hits did he get for him last year? Walk-off homers. He's already done it this year for him. I think, to me, this was a no-brainer. This was we're going to try and catch the Ronald Acuna, Ozzie Albies, Braves extension. And the Padres have done this with Cronenworth and some other guys. I love this move. I just don't see a downside to this at all from either side.
Exactly. When you look at the number of players who have gone straight from AA to the majors and have the success Jackson Merrill has, it's a very, very short list. It's Mike Trout, it's Juan Soto, it's Julio Rodriguez, it's Fernando Tatis Jr. The guys who have done what Jackson Merrill has done in terms of a top 3 Rookie of the Year finish, jumping straight from AA to the majors, they're all superstars. It's a very, very short list. And you consider he did that while also playing an entirely new position, going from shortstop to center field, which he had never played before. You mentioned the home runs. He had 5 go-ahead or game-tying home runs in the 8th inning or later last year as a 21-year-old. The only other players who've ever done that are Frank Robinson and Mel Ott, 2 Hall of Famers. The company Jackson Merrill is in already with what he's accomplished at a young age is pretty elite company. And you mentioned the Acuna extension. That's actually a really good comparison for this one when you look at they were both 21 years old when they signed it. They both signed it after great rookie seasons. And funny enough, they both signed it on April 2nd. Acuna's was April 2nd, 2019. So just in terms of where they are in their careers, the timing, what they've accomplished, that's actually the most direct comp. And we've seen, even though Ronald Acuna has had 2 ACL tears and missed significant time, the extension has still been more than worth it, even with some serious injuries. So from the Padres' perspective, like you said, there's really no downside here given what Merrill has shown already. And from Merrill's perspective, it is generational wealth for him and his family. And oh, by the way, he could still be a free agent at 30 and get a second payday.
What kind of projection do you see for Jackson Merrill? Because you see a 20-year-old and you're like, okay, he can do this. Acuna did this in his second year. Are we talking a guy that can get you 40 bags? Or like where are those core numbers going to be for the Jackson Merrill prime time?
Well, consider the fact that he already hit 24 home runs as a rookie last year. And let's not forget, he was 5th in the majors in the National League in batting average last year and 6th in slugging percentage. He was already one of the top 6 contact and power hitters in the NL last year. This is a kid who still has room to get bigger and stronger, still has room to improve against lefties. There's still growth for him, which is really, really scary. When you consider he hit 290 with 24 bombs last year and still has room for improvement, I mean, 300 with 30 homers a year and 20 steals a year doesn't feel crazy. That would actually just be a pretty modest improvement for him. He was an all-star last year, and right now he looks like a perennial all-star. Again, it's still early. You don't want to go crazy over 6 games, but just the way he's come out swinging the bat this year, he's balanced, he's on time, it's short, compact, tight, impactful. It's everything you want to see. Frankly, he's swinging. He looks like a batting champion the way he's swinging right now. Again, 330 homers, 20 steals. That would just be a modest improvement over last year, and I think he'll very easily attain that. And I'm not going to put a ceiling on this kid. He can do even more for sure.
Kyle, who's going to lose first, the Padres or the Dodgers?
I got to say, the way both teams are playing right now, it's hard to see either of them losing. In all seriousness, look, we know no one's going 162-0. The Padres head out on the road to Chicago after this home set. That'll be tough. At the same time you're traveling, the Cubs are a good team, Wrigley Field. But the thing that's been really impressive about the Padres is they're just playing such complete baseball right now. It's all facets: hitting, pitching, defense, base running. Everything has been on point. They're coming up with the big hits, home runs, but they're stealing bases. They're going first to third. They're laying down sac bunts. They're making great reads in the dirt. They're playing smart, aggressive, high-quality baseball all the way around. This is as sharp of baseball as really I can remember the Padres playing. They were great last year in stretches, but just every facet of the game being on point. This is as impressive of a stretch I can remember, and I've been covering this team since 2015 and watching this team since I was 9 years old in 1997.
Wow. I mean, they're stealing bases like crazy, which I don't think a lot of people thought they could do, which is awesome. Then Michael King's been unbelievable his last start. Cease was pretty good. I mean, Randy Vasquez went 6 shutty against the Braves. This team, his bullpen has been unbelievable. The question is with Michael King, I know they signed him to a 1-year deal with a mutual option. Why didn't, if they're going to do this with Jackson Merrill, why didn't they go long-term with Michael King also?
I mean, keep in mind, it takes two to tango, right? Michael King has a chance to be a free agent after this year, and a lot of players look forward to that. I mean, you can speak to that, AJ. Eric, of course, you can speak to that. I mean, everyone's different. So I think for Michael King, this was, let's get you locked up for this year. We obviously would love to have you back if it makes sense the year after. Again, everyone in San Diego wants Michael King back, and it's just going to be up to him the kind of year he has. We'll see. He was great last night, 5 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 11 strikeouts. He looks every bit, opening day start didn't go great, but it's opening day. It's March. It happens. If he continues to pitch like he did last night, he's going to be able to opt out and get a massive, massive, massive payday. So it's just going to be about what he wants to do.
More in a minute, but first, a quick word from our sponsor of this video. FT fam, I hope you have as much confidence as Penelope right now, who is an avid Spot and Tango fan, okay? And she uses the code FOUL, Kratz, because this is a personalized dog food subscription service that prevents you, of course, from going to the store to pick up the food, and she just gets the highest quality unkibble. That is what they're known for. And I know you love the quiz part of it too.
It's a super quick quiz, but it lets you give them the information and they tailor it to what is needed based on their age, size, activity level, all things that are custom for each and every one of your dogs.
Yeah, human grade ingredients in that unkibble. USDA meat, fruits, and veggies that are approved there. No artificial stuff, no preservatives. They've got the exclusive deal for the FT fam for a limited time. Go to spotandtango.com/foul. Use code FOUL to get 50% off your first order. That's spotandtango.com/foul. It's spotandtango.com/foul, code foul. And now back to the video. Where in your mind are you most surprised right now? I mean, we can double click more on the stolen bases, or what's one part of the team where you were like, this might hold them back, and right now you're like, nah, they're good.
The bottom of the lineup, the bottom third of the lineup, you knew the top 6 was going to be great with Tatis, Arraez, Machado, Bogarts, Cronenworth, etc. But there were some real questions at the bottom third of the lineup. Instead, Gavin Sheets has come out and been absolutely on a tear. He's already become a fan favorite. On Monday night, 43,000 people in San Diego screaming, "Holy Sheets." He's already got his own chant. He's been coming with big homers, big doubles. He looks like the type of hitter most projected him to be coming out of Wake Forest a few years ago. We've seen Elias Diaz and Martin Maldonado get some big knocks out of the number 9 spot as catchers. Braden Lockridge has come up with some big hits. Yuli Gurriel had a pinch hit, go-ahead RBI single the other day. So The big question for the Padres was, what's the bottom third of this lineup going to look like? Because look, you need to be able to hit 1 through 9 if you want to contend against the Dodgers, the Braves, the Phillies, and the NL. And so far, so good. Again, it's only been 6 games. You don't want to go too crazy, but I think there's no question after seeing the quality of at-bats, seeing the quality of contact, seeing the production, you feel better about the bottom third of the Padres lineup today than you did this time a week ago.
Was Sheets just a classic change of scenery guy? I know he was in Chicago, but I talked to him on Saturday, and he said he made some mechanical adjustments with his swing, and it was minor. It would be major to somebody that hadn't played baseball, but to talk to him, I understand where he made some adjustments to. Is this something, one, he can keep going, which I think he can because he's always had power, and he'll get the opportunity, I think, in San Diego. But was this just a case of a new set of eyes on him that's telling him something new?
It's a little bit of that as well as the physical changes. So I've talked to Gavin a few times here over the homestand. First and foremost, he's standing a little more upright in his stance, just getting into a better position to see the ball and also get his load, where he wants it to be. The approach has improved as well. He's using the whole field, and that's what he should be. He's always been a big, strong guy who can go yard to any part of the park. So a little bit of an adjustment with his stance, a little bit of an adjustment in his approach. But the other thing he talked about is he's having fun again. And I want to be clear, he's always spoken positively about his time with the White Sox. It's the organization that drafted him. It's the organization that made him a big leaguer. But he acknowledged there was a 1 or 2 year span there where he just kind of wasn't having fun anymore. And it's hard to have fun when you're going 41 and 121. And we all know that the White Sox clubhouse was not a great place to be the last few years. So he's talked about coming to San Diego. He's used the word refreshed a lot. Refreshed, refreshing. He's used various forms of that word over and over and over again. So I think we're seeing now the Gavin Sheets we knew was always in there. I covered him at Wake Forest. I covered him in the minors when I was at Baseball America, where you saw this was a big left-handed power hitter with good strikes on discipline who had a chance to hit 20 homers a year. Now that he's made some physical adjustments, now that he's having fun again, is just in a better headspace. The great hitting coach in Victor Rodriguez and a lot of support in the lineup around him. We're starting to see the best version of Gavin Sheets. I do believe he will have a good year. 260, 20 home runs or so. That looks very, very possible the way he's swinging the bat right now.
Let's go to Luis Campusano, a touted prospect, came up young, 300 hitter in the minor leagues. He's now back down in the minor leagues. Is this something that it's, hey, you know what, go back down and hit 300 again, especially since he's going to be in El Paso and everybody hits 300 there? Or is this something that his flame is kind of going out for the Padres?
The biggest issue with Luis Campusano, dating back to when he was an A-ball at Fort Wayne, has been the leadership intangible aspects of the game. Eric and AJ, you guys can both speak to this, but how important it is as a catcher to have the trust of your pitchers, to build those relationships, to do all the things, the work ethic behind the plate that is going to make pitchers trust you. Luis Campusano has always hit. He's always been able to hit. He struggled last year, had some mechanical issues, but there's never been any question about his ability to hit. That's not what the Padres are going to be looking for out of him in El Paso. It's going to be the defense. He needs to improve really everything, his framing, his blocking, his throwing, but also the intangibles, the leadership, the maturity. That is something that has always been lacking with him and something that has been a point of emphasis for 7 years now. And it's still not where Padres, multiple versions of Padres coaching staffs have been comfortable putting him behind the plate. So that's really what the Padres want and need to see. Again, he's still in his mid-20s. He still has time to continue growing and maturing as a player. So you don't want to completely bury him yet. But at a certain point, you need to see those leaps in terms of leadership and maturity and the mental side of the game. It just hasn't happened.
Kyle, let's finish with this. Tell everyone why they should be watching and listening to Friar Territory, whether they like the Friars or they're Padres haters and they just want to check in on their rivals.
Absolutely. We've got a lot of great stuff. We have Mike Cameron and Heath Bell, 2 former All-Stars, as co-hosts, bringing some really great analysis and insight about their careers, what happens, in the clubhouse, behind the scenes. And we talk all things Major League Baseball. Obviously, it's a Padres-centric show, but we talk about all the big stories, what's going on, what opponents are looking like. So whether you're a Padres fan or not, there's information there for you. And again, great insight from Mike and Heath. And it's a good time, as always, with those two as well. Great personalities as well as great baseball minds.
Hey, everybody. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.